say that last night I couldn't sleep because something was on my mind and I couldn't quite figure out what or why I was being made to think about it. Um, but then I thought this morning, I'm like, well, maybe I'm supposed to talk about that. And then, good morning from Austin. And then this morning, I listened to two other scopers that were touching on pretty much the exact thing that was keeping me up last night, even though it's not something that I'm currently going through, but I feel like somebody might be. So it's kind of one of those that because it's something that I have gone through, I don't know. I just felt the need to come on and share. So we'll see. We'll see. But either way, I pray that it winds up blessing you in some way, shape, or form. So for anyone who might be joining us today who does not know who I am, my name is Buffy Hood, and I'm a jeweler with Premier Designs Jewelry, actually based out of Irving, Texas. And I've been with them for almost 10 years, and I use Periscope as a platform to be able to assist other direct sellers, as well as my fellow Premier Designs jewelers, to just kind of share my experiences, things that I'm dealing with in my business or things that I've come out of in my business, in hopes that it might be able to help them in some way in theirs. However, today is Wisdom Wednesday, and basically the short of what this scope is going to be is don't quit. I don't care what you are currently going through in your business. I don't care what valley you are currently going through, what trials you are dealing with. Don't quit. Okay. Here's why I say this. All right. Let me share. So real quick, I'm going to share a little bit about the post that I shared last night for those of you who may not have seen it, because it had some numbers. I was doing some. Now listen, who sits in their bed at 11:30 at night crunching numbers? I mean, I'm just saying. So that's not typical for me to want to do something like that at that time of day. So I figured God has a plan for this, and I don't know what it is. So anyway, our first year in Premier, which by the way was May of right? Only weirdos. I know, right, Jenny? Okay, so May of 2007 was when I joined Premier. Okay, in our first year, we did just 12 jewelry shows in that entire first year. So good morning to you. So needless to say, it was basically one show a month is what we were averaging. Now, in the last 12 months, not counting training shows that we would have done, we have held 69 jewelry shows. Okay. So this is from 2007, then compared to the last 12 months, like as of, this month, the last 12 months, 69 jewelry shows, not including training shows that we would have done. And currently, we already have 57 shows on the books now through the end of the year. Okay, so this isn't like you think about that. Our goal at each one of our jewelry shows is to get 3 more bookings, right? So we already have 57 on the books. Now, yes, that does include 11 of my own personal shows, because y'all, if you're not scheduling your own personal shows each month, make sure you're doing that. Okay? Because you need to have at least one on the books. And right now we can have as many as we want. So I love the fact that Premier's done that. Okay. But yeah, so 11 of those. So that's 46 shows that are just other hostesses. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to think about though. In 2013, I almost quit the business, and many of you know this. Okay. I almost quit the business because at that time in April of 2013, I had just one show remaining on my calendar. One. Okay. So it would have been very easy for me to call that one person and say, I've changed my mind about doing this business, so I'm just going to hook you up with somebody else. Okay. But I kept going. And I don't know, I feel like I have been reiterating this lately, and I don't know who is supposed to be hearing this that has not yet heard it. But I feel like God just keeps like, tell them not to quit. Tell them not to quit. Tell them the difference of from one year to the next, to the next, to the next. So here you go. I'm going to tell you the difference from one year to the next. Okay. Are y'all ready? Okay. So May of 2007 through May of 2008, as I said, 12 shows. May of 2008 through May of 2009. Okay. Keeping in mind that so this is starting May of 2008. In July, we went to our very first national rally. By May of 2009, we had held 31 shows. Why? Because I went to nationals and I saw what was possible. I went to nationals and I saw women being recognized for selling $100,000 of jewelry in 1 year, and they have a full-time job, and they have kids and a husband. Okay. They're very active people. And I started looking at this going, I am a stay-at-home mom. I have way more time on my hands than just one show per month. So we bumped it up. Okay. Not quite to 3 shows per month became our average. Okay. The next year. Now think about this for a moment. Okay. So 2008 to 2009, we did 31 shows. Our retail was 15,900. Okay. The next year, our retail was 15,950, but we only did 26 shows because we figured out a way to be able to increase our retail without having to spend as much time out. Okay. Each year, we then started to kind of grow in terms of the number of shows we were doing. The next year, 32 shows. The next year, 39 shows. Again, this is not relative to the training shows that we would have had. Okay. All right. The next year was 32 shows. Okay. So I went down a bit. All right. We had 39 the year before, went down to 32. Our retail had gone down. This was May of 2013 was the ending of this particular time frame. This was when I'm sitting there going, look, it's gone down. My number of downline jewelers has gone down. Like, it's just, I only have one show left on the books. It's just time to call it quits and be done. But God wouldn't give me peace. The next year, we had 35 shows. So I want you to think about that. So from that one show that we still had remaining, we still wound up closing out that year with 35 shows. Okay. And increased our downline. The next year, so this is May of 2014 to 2015, 46 shows. 2015 to 2016, 55 shows. Okay. And as of now, which we are still, 4 months short of being able to qualify it as a full year, we already have 41 shows uploaded through the end of December. So we still have January, February, March, April, May. We still have 5 months to put on there, and we already have 41 shows in. Okay. I'm telling you, when you are getting ready to expand in your business, when you are getting ready to broaden your boundaries and expand those boundaries, the devil is going to put things in your path to make you feel like it's just all falling apart. It's just all falling apart. It's, because here's the thing. I started getting to where because I was so focused on the numbers and not so much of what God was doing in my life, I was missing, like I'm looking at the fact that in 2013, I'm going, I only have one show left on my books. This isn't working anymore. Well, what about the 35 shows that I held in the, in the previous year or whatever? Like, what about those? It does still work. Maybe there's just something different I need to be doing. Maybe there's just a different place my heart needs to be in order for this to progress the way it's supposed to. Okay. So I had to really start looking at things. And in 2013, I basically said, you know what, God, I can't do this on my own. I can't. I need you to basically take this business over in the sense of I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. I'm going to keep working. But Lord, I need you to bless my efforts. I need you to make a path where it seems like there shouldn't be one. I need you to open doors that perhaps I've overlooked. I need you to not only put these people in front of me, but give me the wisdom and the knowledge to understand that you put them there for a reason. Give me the words necessary to talk to them. Give me the words necessary to allow them to see what I would like to help them with, in what ways I would like to bless them, in what ways I could bless them. Give me the opportunities, but open my eyes to those opportunities. Okay. And when I did that, something changed. It just did. But I had to get out of my own way. I had to get out of his way. Okay. And stop thinking like this solely rests on my shoulders. Like I'm the only one who can control what I do and what I don't do in terms of how my business succeeds. That's not true. Okay. It is true that I am in control of my own actions in my business, but I need his help in blessing those efforts. Okay. I need him to be a part of this, and I need to be doing all things to bring glory and honor to him, not just for accolades or not just for free jewelry or not just, yeah, those things are great. Don't get me wrong. And yes, we need to have goals to work toward, but don't be so consumed by that you miss the blessings he's already given you, and that you miss the blessings of everything that he is providing to you now, currently, and that you get so discouraged by what you think isn't happening in the time that you want it to happen, that you quit before his time has come. Okay. And that's what I almost did in 2013. I almost walked away from a business that has provided very well for us over these last how many years. And I almost just walked away from it just because I was frustrated. Well, whatever, that happens. But I shouldn't allow those frustrations to cause me to forget the bigger picture, and to cause me to forget that God has a plan for me, and to cause me to forget to just keep walking down the path that he has given me, because in the end, it's going to be better than anything I could have come up with. So that is what I want you to look at. If you don't keep looking at, okay, you started here and you want to go here, but right now you're only here. Okay. You're looking at the fact that you still have this distance to cover, but you're forgetting that you've already covered this. You're forgetting that you have already taken care of all this in between. Good morning, Myra. So you need to look at that. You need to be willing to say, you know what? He's already carried me from here to here. Why can I not have faith that he's going to take me from here to here? What is it that causes us to look at that and go, but there's so much distance that needs covered? Look at how far you've come to begin with. Okay. So the years that I'm sitting there going, this isn't working anymore, when I had held 30, 40 shows in a year, was I forgetting the fact that I had only held 12 in my first? Okay. Was I forgetting the fact that if I continued down the path of having 30 to 40 per year, someday I would be to the point where I'm having 60 or 70 per year. And maybe someday I'll be to the point where I'm having 100 a year. In fact, the fact that we already have 57 shows on our calendar for the remainder of 2017, I have no reason to look at that calendar and think that there's no way that we couldn't be able to hit the 100 this year. We very well might. And if that's what God deems, that he wants to have happen, great. We're right here, ready, willing, and ready to work. Okay. But it comes down to stop looking at how far you have left to go to reach that goal. Don't just look at that. Look at how far you've already come, the distance that you've already, kind of closed that gap in on, and everything amazing that you've been able to accomplish along the way. This is nothing. This is just a little bit. And you know what? When you get here, then you're going to move it ahead even further, and you're just going to keep doing that. All right. But every once in a while, you have to look back. Okay. They always say, oh, you can't dwell on the past if you want to move ahead in the future. No, but you know what? You do need to remember where you came from. And you do need to remember how far you've already come, that going just the next little distance, look, that's nothing. You got a God who created the entire universe. You really think that he can't get you from here to here? I mean, let's be real. He can absolutely do that, but you need to be willing to ask for his help. You need to be willing to ask for his guidance. You need to be willing to do the work that he requires of you to do. You can't just sit back and say, Lord, give me this. Look, he can do that, but why would he want to? He's not a genie in a bottle, okay? He's not there to grant your wishes, but he is there to bless you. Like a rearview mirror, every once in a while, we need to look back. We do, because you know what? It gives us the ability to be able to be thankful and be able to have a better perspective of where we currently are. Because sometimes we focus so much on just that distance of going from where we are to where we want to be. But we forget how far ahead we already are from where we last were. Okay? And you have to be mindful of that, because God will fill that gap. But you have to be willing to do the work, and you have to ask him to help you with that. You also have to remember that Satan is going to be there to keep nagging in your ear, going, do you realize how long it's going to take you to reach that goal? Do you realize how much time you're going to have to spend doing this? Do you realize blah, blah, blah? And he is filling your head with all kinds of junk. Listen, there are some people that would hear 100 shows per month and they're going, I don't even want to do that many. I don't want to do that many. That's too many. Listen, that breaks down to be 8 or 9 shows per month. That breaks down to be about 32 to 34 hours or 36 hours per month, 34 hours. Yeah, I had it right the first time. He just needs to sit down. Exactly. Okay. So 8 to 9 shows breaks down to be 32 to 36 hours per month that I would be working outside of my home or behind my computer doing Facebook shows. Why is that too much when I work this full time? Why would that even be too much for people who work this part time? Because let's be real then, you're basically talking about adding 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours per week to what you're already doing. If you went out and got yourself a part-time job on top of your full-time job, would you not have to work more than just 8 to 10 hours per week at that part-time job? I mean, I'm just curious. Like, it was my understanding that most people, if they're working full-time and then they also need a part-time job, they're probably working 40 hours a week at one job and working 20 hours a week at the next job. Okay? I don't care it doesn't matter who you are. Doing 100 shows in a year is not that difficult in terms of time spent, okay, in terms of being able to find that time to work on those things? Is it difficult in terms of finding the shows, getting those shows on your calendar? It's not easy. It requires work, but here's the thing. I can either work my tail off for somebody else, or I can work my tail off for myself and keep 100% of the profit. Versus if I'm working my tail off for somebody else, they're getting the profit and giving me about this much of it. So really, which one is better time spent? Right? So it cracks me up. It drives me nuts when I see people with this business in their lap. Like they have the opportunity to work this business. And then you will see them say, I need to just go get a part-time job because this just isn't working. Or I need to go get a full-time job because this just isn't working. No, you are not working. You haven't been working it. And I'm sorry if that comes across harsh for anybody. I pray it doesn't. But listen, put in the efforts and ask God to bless your efforts. That's what you need to do. You're going to work hard anyway. Why not let it be for yourself? Right? Can I get an amen? I mean, I just do not understand that mindset. Mysteriously, you're talking about part-time, right? Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of people constantly ask me, they're going, okay, so how much do you work this business? Well, listen, it doesn't have to be based off of what I do as far as what you can do. But yeah, we shoot for about 8 shows per month is what we shoot for. Do we always have 8 shows per month? No, we don't. But here's what I can tell you. In just the last 4 months, 4 months, sorry. October, November, December, January. Yeah. So starting with, and this was what really got me thinking, was I opened up for the leadership trip. Okay. I opened that up to see where my points were and everything else. And we had already qualified for the trip. Well, as I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm going, so in the last 4 months, I have uploaded, not done because I still have some shows that need uploaded, but I have uploaded 24 jewelry shows and have sponsored 4 new jewelers. 3 of those being just this month. Okay. And I started looking at that and I'm going, okay, so first off, I qualified for the trip then basically twice because the qualifications were just 12 shows and 2 new jewelers. So I doubled the qualifications in just the 4 months. But it also made me look at that and go, I just did more in the last 4 months than I did in my entire first year in Premier. And it really made me just start thinking about like how far I had come. And then it made me remember, okay, well, look, this is how a girl's mind works at 11:30 at night, apparently. Okay. But then it got me to thinking about how in 2013, I almost quit just because I was a little discouraged. And I was looking at what was ahead, thinking it was too hard, instead of looking at what I had already overcome. And knowing that if I did it once, then why can't I do it again? So if you are currently going through a valley in your business, if you are currently going through something and you're thinking, you know what, I have like been up here and now I'm down here, do not get discouraged by that. Understand that there is a possibility that for one, you're down here because maybe God is trying to teach you something. Maybe you have stopped relying on God. Maybe you have stopped being there asking for his help and you've only been there in your own humanity. Okay. Maybe you haven't been asking him for that supernatural help, but maybe, just maybe, he put you here because when you rise to that next level, because you didn't quit, and you had faith that he was going to pull you through this, that you would be able to now be a living testimony to someone else who is currently down here. Okay? So keep that in mind. Every time there is a valley, there's going to be another hill and another mountain that you get to be on top of if you stick with it. You cannot quit. You can't. Okay? Because a lot of people sit there and go, well, I'm just, obviously this just isn't working for me. If you haven't been working it, it's not going to. I mean, that's just the short of it. If you have not been working it, it's not going to work for you. You must work your business. Okay, but the other thing is, the only surefire way to fail is to totally quit or to never try. So why not just keep trying? Why not just keep pushing through? Why not just keep doing what you know you need to be doing? But instead of just relying on yourself, rely on God to get you through it. So that is what I have for y'all today. I hope that this touched someone, because like I said, I just feel like God has been just constantly reiterating this to me over the course of the last couple weeks, as well as just in the last 12 hours. I feel like he has just been kind of like beating me over the head with that I needed to share kind of where I came from, where I went to, where I went back down to, and where I'm at now, to be able to help someone else who is currently dealing with a valley and thinking there's not going to be an upswing on this. So I hope that that person was here, or that that person gets an opportunity to hear this message in some way, shape, or form. So I'm thankful to hear that, Rachel. Thank you. So if this message has blessed you in some way and you feel like there's somebody else who needs to hear this message, please share this out. You can do so by tapping on the three little dots down bottom here. That'll give you an opportunity to be able to share out the broadcast. For some of you, if you're not seeing the three little dots near the comment box, then it might be that you just need to click the little Perry man and be able to do that. Got a little love slap. I'm glad I was able to do that. Yes, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary of doing what is good, for in the proper time we will reap the harvest if we do not give up. You got it. You got it. We will reap that harvest. And look, I just shared this with you guys the other day. What was it? Motivational Monday, maybe? That I just shared this with you, that one of my favorite quotes has always been, and like I said, it was partially a quote, and then I added to it, and it wound up that it rhymed. So I keep using it, which is, you will reap what you sow, but if you don't stick around to watch it grow, the blessings that might have been yours, you'll never know. Okay? So we have to be willing to reap the harvest. Yes, but we got to sow it first. We got to sow it first. And then once we have sown that harvest, we got to be willing to stick around to be able to reap the harvest, because otherwise it's all for nothing. You spend all this time putting in time and effort, and then you walk away before God has brought you the fruits of your labor. Why would you do that? So you need to just keep sticking it out. Just stick it out. Allow those seeds to be there. Just keep dropping those seeds. And over time, listen, y'all, I've had times where I've dropped seeds for people. And listen, it took 3 years or more for them to finally be like, okay, now I'm ready. Well, if I had walked away, I wouldn't still be there when they finally decided they were ready. But guess what? If it's God's plan for them to be ready, they're still going to be ready. Just you're not going to be the one to be there to be able to benefit from the fruit of your own labor. Somebody else will reap the harvest that you walked away from. Just saying. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go. Tomorrow is our Truth Be Told Thursday, so that's where you get to ask me questions about the who, what, where, when, how, why of what I do in my business. I know, right? Myra, I'm sorry. Look, I'm probably going to have to make that a little photo edit and blast that out because somebody needs to hear it. I think there's probably more people that need to hear it than what's going to see it in the scope or on the YouTube channel. So I will create a photo edit of that and put it out on Buffy's Toolbox group and on my page so you guys can have access to it. So then if you want to put it up somewhere in your house to be a constant reminder and ouch for you, then you can be. So, all right, guys, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for our Truth Be Told Thursday. Remember, that'll be here again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the hearts, and I'll see you soon.